Day 26, channeling from Source. Just breathe deeply and rest in this now moment. Allow yourself to feel the presence of the present and just be you. It is safe to be you. It is okay to be the full you and feel and accept whatever is coming up in your experience of your now moment. Whatever comes without judgment, just putting a label on it. Oh, this is joy. Oh, this is guilt. Oh, this is fear. Oh, this is tiredness, nervousness. Whatever comes, observe it from that place of neutrality. Drop deeper into your heart, connecting and expanding to the bigger awareness of self, capital S. So today we have another question. Do you really choose? Do you really choose what happens to you? This is another important and very deep and very broad question. Because we could say that the first act of creation, which is what choice is about, was your incarnation here. Yes, you chose. An aspect of you of which you're not aware chose. We've been broadly talking about choice in the last few weeks. How you move from reaction to creation, just moving the sea. What happens to you when you believe you live in a friendly universe? When you breathe and observe who you are. When you realize that there are different levels of being, the main two being the mind, the heart. All of this brings us to that question, choice. So as you choose to come into this incarnation, in this body, you picked the lineage, the family, the time, the place, which matched the choice of the experience you wanted to have. Therefore, yes, a lot of it you chose prior to your incarnation. Have you noticed that most of the light workers are scattered within families where they're mostly the only one, usually the only one? Although it is changing now, that's not a coincidence. That is a divine orchestration. So divine orchestration is another way to explain choice. What happens in your life, obviously, some of it is going to be a co-creation on a large scale, which involves the planet, the collective of your planet, the universe, the time and space, and all of this. Therefore, not everything is an absolute 100% creation coming from you. But as we've explained in all these long chats with you in the previous weeks, the choice comes from who you become when a circumstance arises in your experience. Let's take the example of Nadej with her cancer experience. Was cancer planned, or was it a creation, or was it a choice? In the end, we will say that these are not really relevant. what she says when she explains that she believes that we are creators and we create our life, she explains that she didn't, on a conscious level, create that disease, of course. But what happened was that many factors in her, combined with a year of wishing to walk the talk, to really embody at a deep level of inner knowing and inner experiencing the truths that had come to her through her writing. The writing of a book, she meditated and prayed daily. But as there was a part of her which was stuck, which was too afraid to move forward, that dis-ease was created. And as she explains, she is one of the lucky ones because it was not a very complex stage 4 cancer. It was a stage 1, simple one. There aren't many words to really describe, but complex and simple is what she uses. So the cancer diagnosis threw her in the river. She really felt and had a strong image of herself being on one side of the river with all the books, all the training, all the talks, all the audio, thinking thousands of hours of inner work, of understanding wisdom, of so much, but she was still in the mind, finding it hard to open fully the heart. And that diagnosis literally threw her in the water. And initially she felt she was drowning until she started breathing and she realized she could float. And then she remembered she could swim. It wasn't easy at all. And the beginning was totally brutal. Absolutely and utterly brutal. It brought such fear of death and the realization that she was not ready to go. She then really felt alive and realized what it felt to be alive. And then she learned to surrender, let herself float after a journey which took her to some pretty challenging rapids, a few waterfalls where she really thought she was dying emotionally, internally. She lost a sense of self. These dark nights of the soul, she didn't realize that it was because something was emerging in her and she was shedding the skin of the old self. And sooner or later she managed to cross, to get to the other side. And she looked back and she thought, wow, that was not an easy one. But she knew that it was a creation which she didn't consciously command, but it was effective as to who she became. So going back to what we were saying, ultimately, the choice is in how you choose to react or not, or most precisely, who you choose to become with every situation, every circumstance. The choice is, who am I going to become? And sometimes it starts with an unconscious reaction. I feel triggered. Start there, because that's beautiful, and that's why you came here. Life is not a long, quiet river. That's the truth. And everything which triggers you is there not as a punishment or against you. It is there for you Going back to what we said yesterday, when you have chosen, accepted that the universe is a friendly place, then you know that the universe loves you. And that's really the major step which will absolutely impact, transform all the experiences that you go through. Because when you know, without the shadow of a doubt, that the universe loves you, then you realize that you are in a game, in a simulation, in a life, in a 3D world, which is challenging in many ways. But that's not the whole of who you are. And as you relax into the arms of the universe, into the love of the universe, and bring and welcome and honor and embrace your fears, your tears, your guilt, your shame, your anger, your unworthiness, your sense of lack, anything that there is that you feel relating to childhood traumas, related to different people, different experiences. When you bring that into the self, capital S, so spacious, so unlimited, and powerful beyond measure, of the divine power, obviously, then you can explore the smaller aspects of self, small s, and be okay. Be totally okay and not threatened by them, not at all impacted by them. Maybe you will feel the emotions and that's not going to be comfortable, especially when it's related to a childhood block limitation where you experienced something and you thought, you erroneously concluded that you were unworthy or not clever enough or not beautiful enough or whatever else. That's not comfortable. But as you bring that to your awareness and you welcome it, suddenly you instantly shift into the heart. Only the heart, only the soul can welcome such a thing. The mind, the brain, is just there to be the processor, allow it, but it is not the primal aspect of you, which is able to do that. The heart is. So as you move into your heart, you access your soul, you access the universe, you access source, the essence of who you are, the field of infinite possibilities, the field where miracles are possible. Because as you rearrange the energy patterns, you transmute the energy frequency, and you bring it down into you. As long as you maintain it, and that's important, you maintain it so that it becomes yours, so that your brain gets wired through the neuroplasticity. Remember what we said yesterday. Your body has to follow. Your body has to upgrade. Your body has to awaken. Your body is the one ascending. So you bring down into the body the transformations, the new energy frequency, the new patterns, the new vibrations. And it has to happen on a 3D level, on a matter level. And that's the integration where it takes some time. What can get in the way is your own desire for comfort, your own desire for what is familiar. As we have spoken many times in a previous channeling, that place where you are rewiring yourself with a new perception, a new filter, is a place of discomfort initially. For most people, it is the unknown. And this brings people into that sense of not being sure, not being certain. But that's exactly what you want. You want to be in that beyond your comfort zone, to be able to rewrite your own software. So the temptation is to go for what's familiar, which provides instant comfort. In this case, you need to practice the delayed gratification of knowing that as you rewrite your own software, as you reprogram yourself, it will become the new you. And that's where you will experience all these things that you've never experienced before. Because if you're still the same, you create the same results. The other quote from Einstein is to do the same things and expect a different result every time. And that's really how the mind feels comfortable repeating the past, repeating what is known. But as you want to transform yourself, as you are pushed by a trigger, an opportunity to grow, to experience yourself in a new way, there you are thrown into the field of magic, neuroplasticity in a scientific way, transformation. Everything is possible at any age. So, dear ones, we are going to leave you here for today. Love your triggers. Love your challenges. Love your life. Live fully today. We love you beyond words. Beyond words. Namaste.